Disclaimer, this video will contain a lot of spoilers for Kingdom Hearts Recoded. If you, for whatever reason, don't want spoilers for Kingdom Hearts, I'll add chapters for what I think are spoilers you should watch out for. Without further ado, let's get into the video. Hello Internet, Kingdom Hearts is weird. One thing that shows that weirdness is that Coded, a spin-off which originated on Japanese phones, is canon. That game got a DS remake that was localized, called Recoded. For whatever reason, people do not like Recoded very much. Let's look at it a bit, shall we? Okay, first things first, the controls. They're good, but can be tough to work with in the beginning. Moving with the D-pad is limited, but it feels nice enough. However, the right hand is where the controls can get tough. You can move the camera either by holding R and moving a direction on the D-pad, or by moving the stylus on the map screen. Something that makes this aspect of the controls easier is that you can press R and L to target onto a foe in combat. You also attack with the A button and use commands with the X button. In my opinion, this clutters the controls a bit too much to one side. It doesn't ruin the game, or the controls even, but it is a minor convenience, which I feel I should note. Next up would be the combat. It works similarly to the combat from the first one, with a simplistic hack-and-slash style combat. But it has some additions which really improve the combat. In the beginning, you can have 3 commands available at a given time. Those would be your spells, techniques, items, etc. But you unlock more as the game progresses. While setting these, you can add an additional command to it, which will upgrade/modify it into a new command. Whenever you use one of these commands in combat, you have to wait a certain amount of time before you can use it again. But then, we have to get to the main reason people don't like the game very much. The plot. It's pretty weird. After the previous game, Chain of Memories, Sora, I think, leaves a note in Jiminy Cricket's journal containing little more than a single line saying, "Thank Naminé," and somehow it removes everything from the previous journey. When Jiminy shows Mickey the journal, he, for whatever reason, decides to hook the journal to his supercomputer because, the impression that Jiminy added to the book during his journey and, hearts, darkness, and lore stuff. I could probably make a bunch of goobity-gook about hearts and darkness and souls or whatever, and you'd believe me.
Hello Internet, welcome to Gay Theory! I've recently discovered a new secret that will blow your mind. I can say with 1000% certainty that I found the entire plot of Kingdom Hearts 4. Mickey Mouse is a Heartless. In the teaser for Kingdom Hearts 4 we see Sora fight a large Heartless. Did you notice that this Heartless has large ears like Mickey Mouse? Also notice Sora in the trailer. He looks much older than he did in Kingdom Hearts 3, which would give plenty of time for Sora to turn into a Heartless. Thanks for watching, see you next time.
After Mickey connects the journal to his computer, it fills up with a bunch of errors, somehow. Goofy then throws in the idea of going inside the computer and fix the data, and then Mickey decides to make a clone of Sora to fix the data. It's quite clear that this story was just cobbled together for the point of making a game, which is absolutely fine by me. So the adventure begins in the stained glass dimension, and is fairly standard. It teaches you how to control the game, and it introduces the hooded figure. It then begins for real in Destiny Island. Just like in the first game, this place serves 2 functions. To teach you how to play the game, and to introduce the characters that matter to the player. In Kingdom Hearts 1, it introduced Sora, Riku, and Kairi, who were the driving forces of the game's narrative. I haven't beaten Kingdom Hearts 1. In Recoded, it tells you about the blocks you'll find, the stat matrix, and system sectors. The blocks, spelled with an X, are pretty much exactly what they sound like. cubes that you find around the overworld that will have different properties, such as indestructible, bouncy, treasure, combines with a partner block to become a treasure block, etc., etc. The stat matrix is an important part of the game. As you play, you'll collect chips. You'll use these in the stat matrix, which will unlock skills and upgrades. Something odd about this system is that instead of leveling up when you gain a certain amount of XP like most RPGs do, you gain a level up chip that you then put within the stat matrix, and then you level up. The system sectors are little dungeons to crawl. They can have Heartless, the enemies of the series until Kingdom Hearts 2, bosses, or even platforming challenges. Doing them not only allows you to progress, but also lets you gain SP, standing for sector points, which can be redeemed for prizes at the end of the dungeon, such as chips, skills, key items, and equipment. Unfortunately, there aren't really any characters that are introduced here that aren't in the Stained Glass world, because Kairi and Riku aren't really active players in this story, so the most we get is Nikki introducing himself to Data Sora. It goes pretty similarly to how it went down in Kingdom Hearts 1, except without Kairi or Riku. When you think about it, that's pretty depressing. Imagine a world where almost everything is the same, except your friends don't exist anymore. Anyways, it's mostly the same. You do some quests for the 3 Final Fantasy characters, you learn how the game is gonna work, you see a cloaked figure who says something vague, and then the world is immediately coated in darkness. Next up is Traverse Town. You have to find the 3 ducks, Huey, Dewey, and Louie. As you find them in each of the districts, they each give you a little keyhole piece. After you find all of the keyhole pieces, you use the keyhole with the keyblade and— oh, son of a Grinch, the universe is flat! So, despite Logan Paul making this stage as flat as the Earth, this section is quite fun in my opinion. You get power-ups and treasure, it's pretty fun. After beating this flat section and a boss, you receive a new Keyblade and can go to Wonderland. Wonderland's mission revolves around finding Inklings. Inklings are words that appear in the form of sparklies on the ground, and when talking to characters can be used to prompt memories in other characters. Kinda like memes in The World Ends With You. There are 16 of them in Wonderland, and 0 in the rest of the game.
Hello, Internet! It's different topic time.
As you progress, you unlock new sections of the stat grid. One of the things that you'll gain along the game are called cheat tuners. They allow you to change how the game works. The first one I got lets you lower your max health in return for higher chance of getting treasure from enemies.
And back to our regularly scheduled topic.
Wonderland is mostly just going around searching for Inklings and characters to help them, and then you go to the Queen of Hearts castle and get the keyhole. When you use the keyhole, the game shifts into a shooter. It's pretty fun. You run forward at all times, shoot with the A button. You can also use X to use a special ability you pick up. And you can roll /guard with Y. Though I like it, it was quite difficult in the end. I died. A lot. After that, the hooded figure says some more vague stuff, and then it gets really weird and cool and meta. The door that was locked earlier in the story was broken open by Data Sora. The monitor then glitches out and shows what's currently happening. The hooded figure then shows himself to be Data Riku. He then tells us that he is essentially the guardian angel of the memories contained in the journal. He also tells us that he somehow put Mickey and the gang in the journal. Then somebody starts to hack the journal. After this, you enter the Olympus Coliseum and gain the ability to backtrack to other worlds. You find the keyhole, immediately, and then the game becomes a turn-based dungeon crawler. It's pretty cool. It reminds me of the Mario and Luigi games, with some timed attacks. You can get up to 3 extra attacks if you hit with good timing. Well, the timing is pretty tough though, at very least at first. You can use the deck commands you currently have equipped, but they don't restore over real time. Instead, they restore by means unknown to me. Just do stuff and then you get them back after a while. In between floors, you can use a shop and save point, which is nice, since if you forget to save, dying can be brutal. On the second floor, Hercules joins you, and it's pretty cool. It doesn't really change much of anything, but it's nice to have another body to attack for you. Eventually, you come across Cloud, who kills you in seconds. So, yeah, it was a bit of a difficulty spike. Actually, it probably wasn't really that bad, since I had the prize cheat up to ×3, which means he was dealing 3 times the damage. So I try again using every buff item, called a license, I have, and I win. I then die to a common Heartless.
So everything he said about you is true.
On the third floor, you get Emo Cloud to join you. You then kill Cerberus. Almost immediately after he dies, Hades tries to kill you too. You then kill him. After the dungeon, you see Datariku talk about how the stuff that happened in Olympus came from his own mind. And then we find Pete. He jumps to a different world, and then off to Agrabah. Before I talk about what happens in Agrabah, though, I'd like to quickly talk about the backtracking in this game. As you progress the stat matrix, you will gain additional scan upgrades. The first scan upgrade just lets you see the health of enemy Heartless, but the other ones will let you go back to previous worlds and find additional system sectors and quests. I like it, but I'm not going to be talking about the additional content in this video. In Agrabah, you search around for Jasmine to help Aladdin. You first find Jafar threatening Jasmine, so you beat him, and then we see Pete give Jafar the lamp. Well, not the real lamp, just a copy. Jafar then uses his newfound powers to stop time. Iago then takes Aladdin's lamp. The spell doesn't affect you, but you still gotta keep moving, cause eventually it will catch up with you. To be honest, this section is actually kinda creepy. The music cuts out, and everything, even Heartless, stop moving. Eventually, Jafar sends some phantom clones after you, and it's like something out of an EXE game, but without the
Hyper-realistic blood!
They cackle whenever they touch you, and they're constantly chasing you. It's pretty freaky. How many kids do you think got nightmares because of this? But anyways, after chasing down Iago, which sucked, seriously, that was lame. He, teleports across the map. We get the lamp, and the genie helps us.
This place smells fishy, and we're far away from water.
Oh, genie, you little After getting through some challenges, we confront Jafar, and then we have to fight. This one was pretty tough, but after a couple tries, I got him. But after the fight, he transforms into a genie. For whatever reason, they decide that he must be in the keyhole. After entering the keyhole, the game actually doesn't change at all. It's just a boss where you have to chase around Iago and hit him until you get his lamp. After you kill Jafar, Pete gets upset and then leaves. We find Pete, and then Maleficent shatters the Keyblade, but Mickey and Datariku save us, and Pete tells us how he got into the datascape. Maleficent also possesses Datariku while she's at it. Then, despite being at every disadvantage imaginable, Sora proceeds to hollow Bastion. Since Maleficent shattered the Keyblade, Sora can't use the Keyblade in this dungeon. Eventually, Goofy and Donald join you, and that's nice. It's funny, though, how long the game keeps you without your Keyblade. I like this part, but it kinda makes me feel like a simp. After going through, most of the dungeon, we get our Keyblade back. We then kill Pete. JK. But right when we have Pete cornered, he flees into the keyhole. Then we kill him. Pete then makes Datariku fight you, and this fight is near impossible. It's 3 phases, and it punishes experimentation. Overall, the game encourages trying new commands. In this dungeon, you can't use your spells or attack, so the game encourages you to use items. But the game doesn't tell you when a boss is near, and items can only be used a couple times per fight. I genuinely lost it twice while playing this, and the section after inside Riku's soul. I really like this game, but whoever designed Data Riku's third phase and added the Eliminator should be
beaten with heavy clubs and left bleeding in the moonlight.
Okay, that sounds extreme, but let me explain. During system sectors, there's a super powerful enemy called the Eliminator. He can appear randomly in rooms when you're on your way to the exit. Normally, that's fine, because he doesn't normally get in the way. However, in one of the system sectors, there's a room that requires you to jump on a bouncy block to get on a moving platform. Fine, all is well. However, the Eliminator spawned here the first time I played this section. You don't have time to just dash by him. He fires projectiles that lower your level, make you slower, make you heavy, and
Mess with!
your controls. And what's even worse is that he can spawn anywhere, including on top of the platform. If you're on the platform when he does this, he pushes you off of the platform. I completely lost it. This is genuinely one of the worst moments in gaming I've had. It's awful. I hate it. We then need to enter Data Riku's soul. It's like a mini version of the game you've played so far, minus Olympus and Hollow Bastion. At the end, we fight a much easier Data Riku. This time, the fight is actually fun, as it doesn't have a third phase with a super attack. After fighting Data Riku, you have to do a platforming section, and you fight Maleficent. After that, Mickey and the gang leave the Datascape, and then Data Sora and Data Riku tell them that their memories are going to be wiped completely. Somehow, they're completely chill about this. Then we find out that something is deleting the Datascape, so Sora just kinda runs and hopes that he can save the Datascape. And then another shooting section begins. After we commit a shooting,
So funny and edgy.
a beefed up version of the thing we fought at the end of Destiny Island, who Riku/Mickey determined must be Sora's shadow. This fight felt really cool. Because I used a lot of the skills that it used, is pretty neat. After you kill its first form, it transforms into Dark Sora. It's pretty fun. It really makes you feel like an epic gamer. After that, the game then tries to gaslight you into thinking that the game is over. Of course, this isn't the end, but it really tries to sell you. They put emotional music in and everything. The next and final world we need to explore is Castle Oblivion? That's the entirety of Chain of Memories.
In Castle Oblivion,
We see a different hooded figure, who is not Riku, who tells us about memories and the rules of Castle Oblivion and such. But, right at the end, he also suggests that because none of the people here are real, that you can use and abuse them as much as you want. Neither them or you have a heart or memories, so why would it matter?
They won't be able to.
Editor's note. I didn't make a proper segue between the gameplay and story portion of Castle Oblivion, so sorry about that. Count this as the segue. I hope you enjoyed the video, and will enjoy the rest of it. Bye. You have little mini-worlds that you explore, and after them you get an ending card. There are 3 per world. Normally, one where things go as planned, one where you fail or are mean to your friends, and a wild card. I gotta be honest, this world is just okay in my opinion. It has a lot of great ideas and themes, but it kinda fails in execution. Most of the routes don't really change much. Mostly just the difference between your buddies saying you did a good job, to them saying you did kinda poorly, and people being amazed that you did so well / horribly. After getting past Hollow Bastion, one time, the Mystery Man attacks you for accepting the forgetfulness the tower brought upon you. I like this fight. There are a few issues, but it's nowhere near as bad as 3rd Phase Riku. After beating him, he gives Data Sora a card for Castle Oblivion, and then he fuses with Data Sora, and we learn that he's actually Roxas. Using the card of Castle Oblivion then brings us to Naminé, who tells us that she carefully orchestrated some of the events of the game, adding monsters too. She then says a lot of stuff that I don't get, but that is incredibly lore relevant. At least, I'm pretty sure. We see Aqua, Terra, and Ventus from Birth by Sleep, so that's cool. Datasora then thanks Naminé, and then roll credits. So, what did I think of this game? I liked it. I thought the game was fun. None of the minigame sections annoyed me that much. I mean, I got the metal chocobo, which means I played 27 floors of the RPG section. A lot of the new mechanics introduced here, in my opinion, were very fun. The stat matrix was pretty cool. Here's a quick hint for you. If you connect two CPUs together, that will increase the power of the chips inside. But did you know that it also doubles the power of level-up chips? That means that if you play your chips right, you can double your level. Another thing that I really liked were the cheat tuners. Though some of them don't work how I would want, they are still really cool. If you like Kingdom Hearts, I'd recommend trying this game out. I give it an 8 out of 10.